Yeah, I'm live again. I think. Let's see if this will work because let's see if I can find myself. This is very, very weird. If I can find my own stream to know if okay. Yes. Let's see. Brokoyoko is back, probably the only one because the other ones are still on the old stream. Let's try to go on the other stream and see if I can go and grab some of the guys that are there. No, cannot. So we'll have to wait if they will ever come back. So just to finish out the video because this was crap. Um, let's see the darting jig heads that I was talking about. If the rest of the guys will come, are these ones. Unfortunately, they only come on 3.5 grams, but they are sharp as hell. Ah, so, for the guy that asked, these ones are very, very sharp. Da-da-da-da. Well, actually, everything from Blux is very, very sharp. I don't know if they still have the G heads, but for jig heads, I would go with. Oh no, bundle deals. Let's open something. Jesus again. Let's go on the store. Are these jig heads? So so these are the very, 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 very sharp jig heads. And where was I? Okay, my top three lures that I've used. So don't mind me looking on the right because I'm just trying to fish out if people are coming back from the other stream. So other than Rokoyoko because it's already here. Yes, the goat lure, the lure that catches much more than the others. The pound for pound, not pound for pound, but the gram for gram best lure on AliExpress. The one from Peak, the Peak Tanta. Pretty, pretty, pretty awesome. So let's see if I. Yeah, it's actually quite weird because um, I really don't know if I'm getting all the messages in, because since I'm doing this on portrait and landscape mode, I have no idea. Because I don't know if in portrait mode you can you have the same type of chat. So either way, I'm just. Yeah, so I will have to change some things around next time, especially the Wi-Fi. But basically, the chat, there's no permeability from the horizontal to vertical chat. So I might have questions from the vertical chat or the vertical video that I did not answer before. Uh, uh, uh. Great username, the Chronic Casturbator. Great channel, brother. Much love from Australia. Thank you. I love Australia also. Every animal is weird, which is great. Some diversity. So what where I was going again, the Pig Tanta, it's the best lure that I've used last year. So that this bad boy sent to the clouds the OG Tanta, the 25 millimeter Tanta from Supercontinente, and the whitebait fish, which is 20 millimeter. This one will catch the same size fish as the other ones. So quite good. If you want to buy it cheaper, you can buy it from Luxafer. Are you listening, Rokoyoko? If you want them even cheaper, Luxafer, if you can get it in Brazil, it's considerably cheaper and still a choice item. So you get 10 bag. It's the bag is not as nice because the other one comes with a tray, a plastic tray inside of the bag, but it's very hard to mingle these things. The color that I recommend, it's the brown and pink on this one. It's I've dabbled with all the others, but maybe this one also works good, but this one, it's the little one. And I will say this, if you go on the store, because I have this color scheme in lures that I cannot get on AliExpress, so I try to buy all my lures like this, dual tone with pinks and some sort of a darker color, because I don't like to fish very, very muddy water. If I'm fishing muddy water, I will do a similar thing, but with purples and blues. But when I'm doing like slightly stained water to clear water, I always like to have this sort of combos. And this year I had much more success with this sort of stuff, with dual tones. I think it's the step to go. Unfortunately, it's something that is hard to find on AliExpress, which is weird because I'm using for my Portuguese channel the select lures, which are, I would say, quite affordable, around the same price as this one. So 199 for a pack of 10 or even more. Most of them are scented, and all the ones that I have from them are dual tone. So even the smallest Tanta that they have, the Polaris, which is my second favorite lure, but on AliExpress, if you know of any brand that sells a dual tone Polaris, so half half, please send me the link because I quite like to know it. And we have also someone from the vertical video, Mindy Loving 472. So let's say hello to everyone. But I was talking, this is my second favorite lure. So, but this is immensely cheap. So 40 millimeters, you get 50 pieces for pack for less than 2.5 euros. Um, if I have to go with a solid color, or in this case only one color, I would go with the purples. Where is it? Something like this. And something like this. This would be my two colors. So the V and the Q, and might dabble with this the white color, this one that Rokoyoko is mentioning on the chat. I would use this on saltwater for some reason. Mullet and saltwater, because as I said, white and pearls give me some confidence when the water starts to have salt on them. So moving on, this and I have something tied on second place. So when I'm fishing like twait shad, this is my go-to lure. This spoons and jigs, but I rather have this. They hook much better the twait shad, and are this, and you can get them from anywhere from 1.5 grams. So if you even you can catch, so I caught chub, trout, a local species, bass also on this. So very very good spoon. The way that it's shaped, so it's, I would say, very very straight for a spoon. So it's very predictable, and with twitch shad it helps a lot because they missed a lot of the hits. Hounds, I caught a nice zander with one of those, what, the Polaris or the spoon? The spoon is actually quite nice, and it comes on a very very nice box. So, and you get 6 of them, and now you can get them with feathers. So it's, and trebles. So if you are going for after something a little bit more toothy, this might be for you. White Polaris, yes, white Polaris is pretty. It's a very versatile lure. Again, I prefer the version from Select where you have the dual tone. And my third favorite soft plastic, it's the Crazy from Supercontinente, the 40 millimeter version on the O color. This is something that when it works very well. The biggest bass that I've caught this year was on one of these, and funny enough, I was fishing with something bigger and I was catching smaller bass, and I changed for this one because I was trying to catch sunfish, because my kid loves sunfish because of the colors, and I swapped it, and I was on a pillar of a bridge, small one, very very small, still close to the kid. The kid was with my father down below, and I saw a pocket in between the grass, so a pocket of the sand bottom, and they have like, I would say like 10 sunfish in there, and I was just trying to do a little bit of a covert maneuver. So I so I just cast over, like 5 meters over, and when I was trying to position the lure to just fall very naturally on the on the opening on the grass, a huge bass just swap, and I think it's on members only video. Unfortunately, I had my camera off for the beginning of the fight where the bass came out of the water, but either way, biggest bass of the year, like, randomly appeared when I was trying to catch sunfish. Rokoyoko with a doubt. How do I use this craw? So if I'm using the size 10 EWG hook, I would use it with with like anything from 1 to 2 grams cheb. And if I'm using the size 10 EWG hook, I might cut this part. If I'm using the size 8, so the very thin hook from Supercontinente, I will leave it as it is. If I'm using like a size 6 EWG hook, which is more stout, I will still keep it as a whole, because it will the hook will come out in here and nest until about here. If you're using the size 10, if you cut this part, it will again stay right here, so on the danger zone. But basically these are my 3 go-to lures, in this case 4. So this Tanta, Polaris, Spoon, again depending on the season, and the Craw. The ones that I'm looking for this year, again I will try to do a little bit more of top water. Sadly, members only video, but there's some footage of me fishing with a soft plastic phallic lure, catching some bass on, I would call it top water. But what I'm going to order for 2026, this is a brand that never appeared to me, Rego, whatever you want to call it. So as you can see, it's sort of a very, very small frog. It has feet, and it's 20 pieces, 2.5 euros, so very, very affordable. But you can mix and match the colors, which is actually quite cool. I might want to go with green and red, so just put them on the cart, which is quite nice. And I will just give you a show around of the store, because they have some interesting things. So another thing that I'm quite interested, it's like this type of lures, like potato lures. So this is something that if you know that there's a bass around, you just throw and let it fall. And I'm very intrigued by this, because I'm sometimes encounter very big bass, but they are always very lethargic when I find them. So it's quite easy, quite hard to make them bite. This store also has some intriguing stuff. I also ordered this just out of weirdness. So these ones are mouses. They are very, very big, but I could not find any smaller version. They are very, very soft plastic, and they weigh quite a bit, so I will be using them weightless and try to see if I can catch a bass with a mouse. If you're on big bass region, it's a very, very soft plastic, so it's probably will be working. People that like to fish with shads, they also have this, which looks, I would say, quite good. It's a bit chunky for my taste, but if you have like small predatory fish, that might be for you. And again, on the potato format, you have the peanut, the little peanut. So this is basically 4 centimeters, so again quite small, very dense bit of plastic. But look, you can get color combinations. I would throw this probably on very, very shallow grass, and I'm very tempted to order. I wanted this color because it really looks like a peanut, but this will not work in Portugal, so I might go with something like this, the blackberry color or the orange and black. So just put it on my card so I don't forget. Something that is working very well for me on the smaller size, so this is 25 millimeters, especially this color. So Roko Yoko, if you are looking through this video and you want something to not be called a Tanta man, you might be called a Tanta with 6 feet and 2 tails man, because this works very well. This one you cannot use with the EWG. You have to use micro jig head, something like it. Size 8 hook will work, but I would probably skip myself with a nymph hook and a 0.6 gram chab. I like the versatility of that. So if you are curious in something to substitute the Tanta, this might be a good one. Again, potatoes, still very small, 45 millimeters. This is something I want to try this year, especially this kind of color. It looks quite cool. It has some dancing on the appendages, and it's a sinking lure. You just put a big S EWG hook on it and let it go and see if anything catches it as it falls. Luxafer also has this on the store. It's sort of like a nymph, if I have to compare it to anything. It has a fork tail, it has the ribs, so it should work pretty okay. I'm not really a fan of this sort of lures, even though they very seem to, they will probably work for some people. I think for me they don't work very well, because I don't like very long presentations with appendices. If I have a longer presentation, I would probably trim the appendages on this one, and use it as it is. But for that, I can use this, which is a Tenta with 2 tails. There, Rokoyoko, another one. And I think this is also from Luxafer. And it's TPE, so it's pretty strong. Again, the only complaint I have is that it doesn't have any version with 2 colors. So if we go over here, yeah, it's basically white, yellow. I would probably go with this color. It's a bit more natural. So you have this one. Okay, that's nice. And now I will probably, if you have any questions, feel free, because I think I've run through everything that I've got. These ones also look nice from Luxafer. These ones are also something that intrigues me a lot. Let's open this one. So this, the Gilus Bell or Bellus Gill or whatever people call them. So a lot of cool stuff for 2026 in terms of soft plastics. And Rego and the other ones also have cool stuff for people that like to fish with bigger soft plastics. So anything from 6 to 8 centimeters, they have a lot of stuff. And I think that's it. I will end the stream. Hopefully, someone learned something. Someone will get some new lures. And yeah, sorry for the Wi-Fi mishappen. But I'm still trying to understand what is happening. Sometimes my Wi-Fi, I will have like 300 megabytes of upload and no download at all, and I have no idea why it happens. But Yeah, I will try to sort it out or just connect a cable from one side to the other of my living room. Anything to fix the live streaming for you guys, because this is very annoying. I think I ran out of time to reconnect, and now I have two streams, which would be very annoying for people that will watch this later. So again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on my next video.